by a committee. Do I put the question? Honorable members, I therefore put the question that this House resolve to exempt the business appearing as order numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, Order Honorable Maingi, in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of Senate amendments to the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2023. Question to be put.
Majority Leader. Putting the question. Honorable members, allow me, order, Honorable Nyikao. Allow me to put the question that the Senate Amendments to Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2023 be now considered. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, the Tax Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2024. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I put the question that the Tax Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2024, be read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to make amendments to tax-related laws and for connected purposes. Order number 11, the Persons with Disabilities Bill, Senate Bill number 7 of 2023. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I put the question that the Persons with Disabilities Bill, Senate Bill number 7 of 2023, be read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to give effects to Article 54 of the Constitution, to restructure the National Council for Persons with Disabilities and to provide for its functions and powers, to provide for the institutional framework for protecting, promoting, and monitoring the rights of persons with disabilities, to provide for incentives and reliefs, and for connected purposes.
Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, we shall defer the putting of question under order number 12, and we will revert back to questions and statements under order number 8. But before then, I have a communication to make. Under order number 2. I have a communication on withdrawal of specific provisions in the Business Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 49 of 2024. Honorable members, this is a communication regarding the withdrawal of specific provisions contained in the Business Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 49 of 2024, which we will consider shortly in the committee of members. As you may be aware, the Business Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 49 of 2024, was published by Kenya Gazette Supplement number 195 of 1st November 2024 to effect various amendments to 9 statutes. The bill, which is sponsored by the leader of Majority Party, was read a first time on 13th November 2024. Thereafter, the bill was referred to the Departmental Committees on Trade, Industry and Cooperatives and the Departmental Committee on Finance, National Planning for consideration of relevant provisions in accordance with the respective mandates, with the lead committee being the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning. The Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning tabled the report on the bill in the House on Monday, 2nd December 2024. Thereafter, the bill was considered and passed by the House at second reading on Tuesday, 3rd December 2024, and committed to the Committee of the Whole House. Indeed, As you may have noticed on today's order paper, the bill is scheduled for consideration in the Committee of the Whole House under Order Number 11. Honorable members, before the House proceeds to consider the bill in the Committee of the Whole House, I wish to notify the House that I have since received a request from the sponsor of the bill, the leader of the majority party, by the letter dated 2nd December 2024, seeking my consent for the withdrawal of the proposed amendments relating to the Scrap Metal Act, Cap 503, as contained in the bill. The amendments seek to alter the composition of the Scrap Metal Council. In the letter, the leader of the majority party notes that the House recently passed the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 67 of 2023, which included amendments to the Scrap Metal Act Cap 503. In passing the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 67 of 2023, the House amended the very same provision that is now contained in the Business Laws Amendment Bill 2024 and referred it to the Senate for consideration. According to the leader of the majority party, it will be untidy to consider amendments to Section 4 of the Scrap Metal Act, Cap 503, while the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Bill, National Assembly number 67 of 2023, awaits consideration by the Senate. Honorable members, having considered the justification by the leader of the majority party, I have acceded to his request to withdraw the provisions relating to the Scrap Metal Act Cap 503 as contained in the Business Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 49 of 2024. In this regard, the bill will therefore be proceeded with in the Committee of the Whole House without reference to the withdrawn provisions and will be considered as though the withdrawn amendments were not part of the bill ab initio. I thank the leader of the majority party for being hawk-eyed in ensuring effective processing of legislation, especially during this hectic period before we proceed on recess. The House is accordingly guided. We go back to order number 7.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The first statement will be, the first statement will be by Honorable Member for Dagoretti North, as annexed in the order paper. Honorable Beatrice Elachi, if not in the House, it is dropped. The next statement will be by Honorable Anjiko Muhia.
I'm present. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the connection of transformer delivered to Kipipiri Technical and Vocational College in Kipipiri constituency. Honorable Speaker, in February 2024, the Kenya Power and Lighting Company, KPOC, delivered a transformer to the Kipipiri Technical and Vocational College as part of the electrification efforts in the constituency. However, despite the progressive step, the transformer is yet to be connected to the grid. This has severely impeded the institution's ability to run critical training programs, particularly those requiring electrical equipment and modern technology. Furthermore, this situation has hindered the college from achieving its objective of equipping young people with the skills necessary to compete in the job market. It is worth noting that the technical and vocational training institutions play a pivotal role in fostering innovation, entrepreneurship, and individual growth. The lack of power supply, therefore, undermines not only the development of Kipipiri Technical and Vocational College, but also the border and addressing youth unemployment. Honorable Speaker, it is against this an adjacent community to indicate timelines for the connect that we are ending this session on Friday, and noting that this transformer was delivered back in February.
To be just procedural, because I've had a discussion with the ministry and also Kenya Power on the same issue. And I want to confirm to the House that this particular transformer, currently the technical college is served by 200 kV transformer which also serves the community. And
Honorable
Kenya
Kawaya,
Power has
Honorable
made an
Chair of
undertaking
Energy,
Yes.
do you have it written?
to have a written response for me to comfortably and be able to respond to this particular question. Just wanted to confirm to the member that this transformer will be installed on Friday. That is tomorrow but 1.
Honorable Wanjiku, that is satisfactory enough?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate the chair, and I beg the other chairs to work promptly like Honorable Kawaya.
To be as
Thank
efficient.
You. As efficient as such, and I know the residents of Kipipiri and indeed the area within Mawingu will go for Christmas being very happy. Thank you.
Thank you. That is very well done. Member for North Hor, Honorable Wario.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to Standing Order 44C, I rise to request statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of the construction of Shegel-Maikona Road connecting Saku and Northern constituency. Honorable Speaker, on 17th August 2022, construction of Shegel-Maikona Road commenced under contract number Kenha RDD 3637-2022, which was awarded to Zongumei Engineering Group Limited and Midland Construction Company Limited at a cost of 7,836,751,654.
Honorable members, order, Honorable Wario. The consultations are too loud. Kindly let's maintain some decorum. Continue, Honorable Wario.
Thank you. This 74.3 kilometer infrastructure project was initiated to improve road connectivity in Northern constituency. However, in October 2023, the construction works were discontinued, with the contractor reducing operations and finally relocating equipment to other construction sites within the country. Honorable Speaker, Northern constituency is the largest constituency in Kenya, yet it lacks any paved road infrastructure. The absence of tarmac road continues to restrict mobility, particularly during rainy season when existing roads become impassable for extended periods. This also impairs access to critical services like healthcare facilities, education, and markets. Additionally, the delay in construction affects the implementation timeline of the multiple development initiatives in the region, including the Kengen wind power projects in gas area. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure addressing the following. Report on the status of the Shegel-Maikona Road construction, including the financial and administrative factors that have led to the delay in the construction. And finally, interventions by the ministry to ensure the completion of this critical road infrastructure, including the revised project implementation schedule with the specific completion dates. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
This statement is to the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure. Honorable GK, are you as efficient as Honorable Kawaya? Do you have the response?
I don't have the response right away, Honorable Speaker, but if I'm given time, I will respond as soon as we are back after recess.
Honorable Wario.
Honorable Speaker, this issue was raised several times and also had discussion with His Excellency and also the ministry. So I really need if this information can be sorted and probably responded by tomorrow. Because it's a factor that really affects the people of North Hor.
I will commit it to the committee. Honorable GK, you realize we are taking a long recess.
But if he requires response in a day, we will do our best. We can give little information. But,
do your best to get it?
Yes, we will. Before
we break. We have some responses from some committees. Number one, again, the question by Honorable Ade Wario to be responded by the Chair, Agriculture Committee. Before we go to the response, there is one by Honorable, there is a request by Honorable Ariko. who is not in the House, was committed elsewhere, has delegated Honorable Joshua Oron to ask for the statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This request for a statement regarding resettlement and land tenure for squatters in Boma slums and Oljarai farm is on behalf of the Honorable Ariko Namoit MP, member of Turkana South constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Lands regarding resettlement of squatters in Boma slums in Eldoret and Oljarai farm in Naivasha. Honorable Speaker, marginalized communities across the country, including the Turkana, have historically faced severe challenges in accessing secure and equitable land ownership rights. Article 43 of the Constitution guarantees every person to the right to property and protects against deprivation of property or any interest in land. Despite this constitutional entitlement, many marginalized communities continue to face considerable barriers to secure land ownership, especially those located in Boma slums in Eldoret and Oljarai farm in Naivasha, Nakuru County. Honorable Speaker, the issue of land insecurity continues to undermine the well-being and social stability of the affected communities. In the case of the Oljarai farm, its ownership has been in dispute for over 40 years, resulting in loss of life, property, and even disruption of peace. As the tussle continues to drag on, the marginalized communities who are settled on these lands by the government risk being displaced. It is therefore essential that the land tenure rights of such marginalized communities are protected, and the principles of equity as enshrined in the Constitution are upheld. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Lands on the following: a comprehensive report on the demarcation of Oljarai farm, indicating when title deeds will be issued to the minority communities such as the Turkana, who have been settled on the land for over 40 years. 2, the measures put in place to ensure that the minority communities in Boma slum and Oljarai farm are consulted on any decisions taken to the said parcel that affect their livelihoods. 3, the steps being taken by the government to resolve the long-standing land ownership dispute over the Oljarai farm and mitigation measures in place to ensure timely and lasting solution of the dispute. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Just to notify the House that Oljarai is actually in Gilgil sub-county. And I know some members have come to me, including the member of Narok East, asking why, because I had raised it as a petition yesterday. This is a statement, and it has its own life also. So it will be committed to the Committee of Lands. We'll go now to the responses on food crisis in arid and semi-arid areas by Honorable Ade Wario, Committee of Agriculture, Honorable Brighton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. I'm responding to the statement by Honorable Ade Wario, MP. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, Honorable Aden Wario, MP, requested for statement on 18th of September 2024 regarding the perpetual food crisis in arid and semi-arid land in Kenya. The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development responded as follows to the issues raised in Parliament in the statement. Number 1, plan on how the government intends to leverage on demonstrated capacity of transformative projects in technology, water, and large-scale infrastructure projects to prioritize food security and enhance the dignity of the population in North Or and of ASAL regions in Kenya. The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, in collaboration with various stakeholders, through the holistic approach of transforming food security, has put in place a number of strategies to tackle food insecurity in ASAL, guided by the Agriculture Sector Transformation and Growth Strategy, ASTGS. The ministry is focusing on 3 key outcomes: increasing small-scale farmer incomes, boosting agriculture output and value addition, and strengthening household food resilience. The key initiative supporting the transformation of food systems include promoting sustainable farming practice and investing in irrigation and water management system to mitigate the sector's vulnerability to drought. The initiative includes Food System Resilient Project, FSRP, which was initiated in March 2024, and it's supposed to support development and rehabilitation of water structures for increased water and livestock irrigation. It's supposed to support the livestock breeding. It's supposed to support feedlots, demonstration of light in schools, institutions, market infrastructure like hay stores, production aggregation centers, and roll out agripreneur model, and that involves onboarding of business accelerators and agripreneurs in all wards. There is also the enhanced water infrastructure. The National Irrigation Authority has built about 35,000 water pans across the 31 counties, including the ASAL counties, and is also rehabilitating small dams and water pans. The water pans can irrigate up to 48,000 acres. There is also the Emergency Response, Emergency Locust Response Project, ELRP. The first phase of the project was to respond to the threat of the livelihood posed by the outbreak of desert locust and strengthening systems of invasion preparedness that impacted on the ASAL counties. The second phase is supporting communities to regain the lost livelihood. The key interventions in this phase are provision of assorted crops and livestock input packages for individuals, provision of emergency livestock feeds, provision of tracking water, communities, and human use, strategic supporting treatment for livestock, improved pasture production, storage sheds, and development and rehabilitation of water pans and boreholes. There is also this digital extension service. The ministry has rolled out the e-extension service to ensure dissemination of agriculture technologies. The e-extension service aimed at reaching out to over 7 million farmers. Through the various apps, farmers can get real-time access to information, weather updates, market prices for the support crop production, and manage their farms and connect with the buyers and suppliers. There is also the promotion of drought and tolerant crops. The ministry is collaborating with county government in promoting drought-tolerant crops like green grams, cowpeas, pigeon peas, pearl millet, and dry land maize in both ASAL and non-ASAL counties. ASAL counties received 395 metric tons of assorted relief seeds like rice, maize, beans, green grams, and cowpeas, worth 91,622,000. The target counties were Makueni, Machakos, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Kitui, Lamu, Isiolo, Wajir, Bungoma, Kakamega, Taita Taveta, Tana River, Mandera, Garissa, Marsabit, Baringo, Kwale, Nandi, Siaya, Laikipia, Kisii, and Elgeyo Marakwet. The assorted tree seedlings like avocado, mango, macadamia, coconut, and cashew nuts, worth 524,770,000, were distributed to both ASAL and non-ASAL counties, beneficiary counties being Embu, Meru, Kiambu, Lamu, Kilifi, Makueni, Kitui, Baringo, Bomet, Marsabit, Wajir, Laikipia, and Samburu. Access to financial service and credit. The government, in collaboration with private sector, has made significant strides in enhancing agricultural productivity through access of credit programs like Kilimo Biashara program, which provides low-interest loans to farmers, facilitating access to necessary inputs like seeds, fertilizer, and equipment. There is also the crop and livestock insurance program. The program has benefited 16 counties, including Kitui, Makueni, Tharaka Nithi, Samburu, Marsabit, Kwale, Machakos, Embu, Mbeere North and Mbeere South, and Meru. 200,000 smallholder farmers have benefited. Question number 2 is explaining as to why the government allocates substantial resource for relief food annually, but minimal or no resource for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound smart food security program in ASAL regions. Honorable Speaker, the government has been allocating substantial resources to relief food for food security programs in ASAL regions. The ministry has allocated resources to various programs geared towards addressing food security in ASAL regions. However, there is low allocation of resources to mitigation risks associated with food and nutrition crisis. The ministry is spearheading a development of national preparedness plan for food and nutrition crisis in collaboration with stakeholders. Question number 3, response number 3, a comprehensive report on all food security and drought resilient projects with corresponding budgets by both government and donor-funded projects that have been implemented or are ongoing in North Ore constituency and other regions. Honorable Speaker, the government approved funds for payment of salary arrears for employees of state-owned sugar companies. However, the funds are yet to be released due to lack of exchequer. They will be released as soon as the money is available. Statement number 4 that was sought is a comprehensive report on the status of sourcing a strategic partner to invest in the restoration of the company to profitability, hence improving the welfare of smallholder sugarcane farmers and employees of Sony Sugar.
Hold on. Honorable Brighton, that's the next statement. You have finished with one statement. Let us hear Honorable Ario whether he is satisfied. Take your seat, Honorable Brighton.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I've clearly listened to the response by the ministry. But unfortunately, the responses are inadequate and not satisfactory. If you look at the amount of money that has been allocated year in, year out, for the last several years, billions of money have been allocated for ASAL, especially for food security. But if you look at what happens every second year when you're experiencing drought in this country, we lose millions of livestock. People are dying. So the interventions that has been planned for is not really reflecting on the ground, as not really supporting the communities to be able to transition from doses of relief food to be food secure. So basically, I strongly feel that the amount of resources allocated is not really translating on the ground and it's not meeting the needs of the people in ASAL. So on this matter, I really request for the ministry to give us a concrete plans and strategies with timelines on when pastoralist communities in the ASAL will be made to stand on their own, produce their own food, and able to feed it. Because if you look at the ASAL of this country, the land is immense. Water potentials are quite immense. And the ASAL of this country can really feed this country. Instead of always giving us food, we really need the government to invest in infrastructure, in food security, so that pastoralist communities are able to produce their own food and feed this country. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Brighton.
Sorry, there was a mix-up with regards to question number 3. No, the response number 3 and 4. It's continued with the sugar thing. And I think they were asking about comprehensive report on food security and drought resilient projects. But my response
so are you confirming you haven't responded to number 3?
Yes, number 3, response to number 3 and 4. Number 3 and 4, because I don't have the original, request for statement. I only have number 1, 2, response to number 1 and 2. Number 3 and 4, I don't know whether in the original request, whether there was number 3 and 4, because they have continued with the issues of sugar, which will be responded to.
Honorable Ario, the issue of Sony Sugar is totally different. It's a question by Honorable Awino. It's totally different.
That's not mine, yes.
Yes. So, Honorable Ario, can you confirm if all the questions have been responded to? Because the clarification you have sought is not on the questions, it's on the visibility of the allocated funds on the ground.
Honorable Speaker, what I said, first, the issue of sugar is not my question. Secondly, what I wanted is, we wanted, over the years, if you look at what has been allocated and what has been implemented on the ground, it's not really commensurate. Most of these projects which has been detailed in the response, if you go on the ground, you will not find them. Because with the billions of money allocated for these food security projects, people in the ASAL are always facing perpetual food crisis. People are dying, livestock have perished, no restocking was done by the government. So basically, I strongly feel that the response is really inadequate and insufficient. Thank you.
We will make progress. Honorable Brighton, just for that clarification only, because the member is asking, what are the strategies from the ministry?
Yes, Madam Speaker. I want to respond this way, that we've called the relevant ministry to come and give us all the projects that are attached to the various programs that are ongoing in the ASAL region. For example, if it's emergency locust response project, we need to see which constituencies are benefiting and which specific projects are being implemented and where. And that is why we've invited the relevant ministry, because there was also a relevant question previously concerning the same, and we will combine both and make sure that we give justice to and proper response to the member.
Thank you, Committee of Agriculture. I think going forward, ensure you call the person who has requested the statement. Let Honorable Ario attend if that meeting is done, so that he can also put the question directly. I think it would help a lot so that you get the clarity you're looking for. The next question by Honorable Walter Awino on the revival of South Nyanza Sugar Company, Sony Sugar, and other state-owned sugar mills. Still, Committee of Agriculture. Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I stand pursuant to standing order number 44-2C on the issue that Honourable Walter Awino requested for a statement on 14th of November 2024 regarding the revival of Sony Sugar Company and other state-owned factories. The Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock Development responded as follows to the issues. Number 1, on the outline of the plan in place by the ministry to urgently procure new crushing equipment for Sony Sugar Company to replace the old one, which was acquired in 1979 and now requires 400 million to maintain for maintenance and to keep on operating. The ministry responds that there is no plan in the government to buy new crushing equipment for the company. Plans are underway to lease the company and other government-owned sugar milling companies. There are 4 others. The leasing of the mills will inject private sector capital that will be used to modernize the mills and restore efficiency. The second issue that Honorable Walter was asking for was an immediate and long-term strategies the government plans to implement to curb the frequent equipment breakdown, which impacts heavily on the the company's output, and it results in low production and low morale among workers and farmers. And the response is as follows. The recently enacted Sugar Act number 11 of 2024 provides for sugar development levy. The Act appropriates 15% of the levy for factory development, rehabilitation, and maintenance. Sony Sugar Company will be able to access the funds to facilitate rehabilitation and the factory maintenance. The third issue that the Honorable Walter Winner had requested was to be given the reasons why there has been delay in paying the outstanding salary arrears of 800 million Kenya shillings for Sony Sugar Company workers who in the past have endured various economic hardships and the poor working conditions at the factory. And the response is as follows, Honorable Speaker, that the government approved funds for repayment of salary arrears for employees of state-owned sugar companies. However, the funds have not yet been released due to lack of exchequer. They will be released as soon as money is available. The fourth issue that the Honorable Walter Winner had asked was a comprehensive report on the status of sourcing of strategic partners to invest in restoration of the company to profitability, hence improving the welfare of smallholder sugar farmers and employees of the Sony Sugar Company. And the response is as follows. The Cabinet approved the write-off of debts owned by state-owned sugar companies in July 2023 and adopted the leasing model. Parliament approved the write-off of the debts, payment of suppliers, farmers, employees, and arrears in September 2023. The leasing model was adopted and a tender document prepared for a request for proposal to be led by the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. The request for proposal was floated with a closing date of 29th of February 2024. The process was, however, stalled due to a petition filed in court by Mr. Martin Nyongeza Barasa, citing lack of public participation in the leasing model. Stay orders were granted by the Honorable Justice Chacha Mwita. The matter has been heard and the ruling will be delivered on notice. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Awendo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have gone through the response as read by the Honorable Mutunga. However, I am not satisfied, especially with the part of payment of salary arrears. They have indicated that they requested for money from the Treasury, and they are still waiting for the money. Madam Speaker, they have not given us an indication on when this money is likely to be released or be paid to the farmers, considering that the farmers have been waiting for the same money for over 5 years, Madam Speaker. So I think it would be important if we get an indication on when these monies will be released, instead of telling us that they requested for money from the exchequer and they are still waiting for the same. And on the issue of leasing or rehabilitation of these factories, let us wait for the court ruling, which they said is supposed to be coming soon. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Mutunga, do you have the when?
Honorable Speaker, what the ministry says is that money is apportioned but not released. They do not have exchequer. And the exchequer is an ongoing concern. It's not something that they can give a definite date. I'm not defending the ministry, Honorable Speaker. But I will forward the request to the ministry to expedite the push for release of the exchequer so that they can pay this, the workers. Thank you.
Member for Awendo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I don't know whether it is possible to get an indication of when, Mr. Mutunga, because this one without timeline or without time frame is very difficult. I don't know what is it that I'm going to tell the workers that have been waiting for payment of their salary arrears for years, that they are waiting for the exchequer. So we need to know. We are talking about salary for services that have already been rendered. So is it possible to know when the exchequer is going to release the funds? Thank you.
Chair, do you have anything more to add? Anything
I
more
do not,
useful?
I may not be able to competitively answer that question, Honorable Speaker. It's only the Minister can tell us.
I would propose that you get back to Treasury and you can get back to the member as soon as possible, considering that we are going for long recess by maybe tomorrow afternoon. The next statement is on the status of construction of Cheborge Junction, Kipwasituya Market Road, and the Sotik Silalo Road by Ambassador Sigei. Chair, Transport.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to respond to the statement request by Honorable Sigei, Ambassador. Honorable Speaker, on Thursday, 2nd October 2024, the member for Sotik, Honorable Sigei Francis Kipyegon, Arab MP, requested for a statement from the chairperson of the State Department, of Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding unmarked bumps along the Chaboge Junction, Kipwasiria Market Road, and Sotik Siraro Road. To Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the member for Sotik, Honorable Sigei Francis, sought to establish, among other things, one, the challenges experienced by the project leading to prolonged delay in completing the upgrading of the said road, and whether the full contract sum for the project was paid to the contractor and the justification for payment despite the project being incomplete. 3, an update on when the contractor will resume the works and expected timeline for completion of the road, considering that the Sotik Silaro section is impassable. 4, the measures being taken by the Ministry of Roads and Transport to ensure that value for money is obtained with respect to the project without causing significant inconveniences to the locals, and alternative measures for the impassable sections of the road. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport through the Clerk of the National Assembly, which I now wish to make. Honorable Speaker, with regard to the challenges experienced by the project leading to the prolonged delay in completion of the upgrading of the said road, the Ministry acknowledges that the project for the upgrading to bitumen standard and maintenance of Chaboge Junction has suffered prolonged delays in completion. The 18-month project, which commenced in August 2021, was intended to be completed in March 2023, but has since lasted 38 months. That is 211% time lapse. The main reason for the delay in completion of the project is due to inadequate financial capacity of the contractor, namely MSQ Construction Company Limited. 6, Honorable Speaker, concerning whether the full contract sum for the project was paid to the contractor and the justification for payment despite the project being incomplete, so far, Honorable Speaker, the contractor has been paid his advance payment amounting to Kenya shilling 59 million, and is contractually, which is contractually obligated. He has since not raised another certificate for processing and has consequently not been paid any further amount. Honorable Speaker, regarding the update on when the contractor will resume the works and the expected timeline for completion of the road, considering that the Sotik Silalo section is impassable, the Ministry, through KERA, served the contractor the requisite notice of slow progress in August 2022, thereby commencing the process of terminating the contract due to non-performance. Furthermore, the agency has convened a management meeting with the contractor with a view of identifying ways through which works at the project can be fast-tracked and completed in the shortest time possible. To this end, the contractor shall be further required to provide a detailed schedule of works with clear timelines for the completion of the project. In the event that there is no immediate improvement in progress, KERA shall invoke the relevant contractual clauses and initiate mutual termination of the contract with a view of repackaging the remainder of the works to form a new contract and proceed to identify a contractor through a competitive procurement process. Honorable Speaker, with regard to the measures being taken by the ministry to ensure that value for money is obtained with respect to the project without causing significant inconveniences to the locals and alternative measures for the impassable section of the road, I would like to submit that the ministry commits to ensure that all works on the road adhere to acceptable engineering standards without fail to guarantee value for money at the project. This shall be through existing contractual and administrative controls that are designed to ensure the requisite quality is upheld. In regard to maintenance, the contractor is under instruction to maintain the entire road ahead of works and shall be tasked to prioritize ensuring mobility of the road in the immediate term. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Ambassador Sigei, is that satisfactory?
Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate the answer from the Chair of Infrastructure. But, Madam Speaker, it has fallen far short of my satisfaction. Number one, since 2022, Madam Speaker, is a very long time, and nothing has happened. People are suffering. People are coming from Jeborga area, coming to Sotik. It's a big problem. Vehicles we have had breakdowns of vehicles passing that route, and there's a lot of wear and tear of the owners of vehicles in that road. Even passing there on foot is a big problem. So, Madam Speaker, I really want to ask the Chair to give me more information, especially on what he said that the contractor have been instructed to continue maintaining the road. Madam Speaker, there is nothing going on. The road has never been maintained. It is in bad state, and I would like to know what can be done so that people can be passing there and do their business. Madam Speaker.
Chair.
Madam Speaker, I want to agree with the honorable member, and here we are dealing with a crooked contractor who has been paid money to commence his works at the project, but he has not done what is expected of him. So, Honorable Speaker, we'll do our best to ensure that this contractor either pays back money to government, to KERA, or he must do what is expected of him. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
There is always contractual responsibilities, and I think, Honorable Ambassador, the Chair has given a commitment that it will either be terminated or the person has to come to the ground. What I would ask is that, Chair, that you take it up to expedite from the ministry so that you lessen the suffering from Ambassador Sigei's people. Ambassador Sigei, you still have something else to ask?
Madam Speaker, I am satisfied, but really I want to know how people can be passing there comfortably. It's in bad state. Chair.
Do you have any mitigation, Honorable Chair?
Honorable Speaker, it is said that government exists to do the greatest good to the greatest number of its people. So we will ensure that the greatest good is done for the great people of Sotik. We'll do our best as a committee to help.
Thank you. Honorable members, we are done with statements. We'll go to the next order.
Order number 13, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, will be done by the Vice Chair, Honorable Ekomas Mutuse.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to move the following motion, that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as the Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 3rd December 2024, and pursuant to Article 250, Sub-Article 12 of the Constitution and Section 16(1) of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Act, Cap 7H, is read together with Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F. This House approves Mr. Abd Ahmed Mohamed, MBS, for appointment as the Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Madam Speaker, just briefly to state that the nominee, Mr. Abdi Mohamed Mahmoud, appeared before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, and the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is satisfied that the nominee was recruited through an open, transparent, and competitive process in accordance with the relevant provisions of the law. The Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is equally satisfied that the nominee meets all the constitutional and statutory requirements, in particular, those on citizenship, leadership, ethics and integrity, and tax compliance.
Honorable Rahim, what is out of order? Hold on, Honorable Mutuse.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would want the chair to repeat the name because I think he has read the wrong name, which is not in the order paper.
Honorable Mutuse, you know, unlike the other time you are moving to remove someone from office, this you are putting into office, so be factual.
I am not sure the member was listening because I read the name of Mr. Abd Ahmed Mohamed, MBS, and that is what is in the order paper. That is what in the order paper.
It has been, Honorable Rahim, it is not Mohammed, it's Mohamud, as on the order paper.
In case of any doubt, the nominee who was vetted by the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee and who is in the order paper today, seeking approval of the House, is Mr. Abd Ahmed Mohamed, MBS.
Continue, Honorable Mutuse.
So as I was saying, the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is satisfied that one, the nominee was recruited through the correct statutory procedure. He was recruited openly, he was recruited transparently, and he was recruited competitively, and therefore satisfies the relevant provisions of the law. The Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs is equally satisfied that the nominee met the constitutional and statutory requirements for the appointment to the position of Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, in particular, the provisions of the Constitution on citizenship, on leadership, on ethics and integrity, on tax compliance, as well as obligations to the Higher Education's Loans Board. We are also satisfied that the nominee has the relevant abilities, experience, qualities, and meets the needs of the office to which he has been appointed. Madam Speaker, for the benefit of members, the nominee has worked at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission for the last 19 years, occupying different positions as a senior investigator, as director of investigations, and currently as a deputy CEO. He is the first chief executive officer to be nominated and, if approved, to get office who has been working in EACC internally. The rest have all come from outside. And in our questioning, during approval, we were satisfied that he has the necessary qualities to take the war on corruption forward. He did enumerate several achievements in terms of recovery of assets of about 4 billion shillings each year on cases that, as the Director of Investigations and then the Deputy CEO, he has superintended all the way through courts so that illegally acquired public assets are recovered. And therefore, we now seek the House to approve Mr. Abd Ahmed Mohamud to be the next Secretary and CEO of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Madam Speaker, I now call upon the Chief Whip, the Honorable Member for
Honorable
Mugirago to
Mutuse,
second.
hold on. Honorable Member for Mavoko, what is out of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when I was listening to the mover, I didn't hear him point out how many nominees, how many persons had applied for that position. You only spoke of this gentleman who was the deputy of the outgoing CEO. I would have wanted to hear.
Honorable Mavoko, Honorable Member for Mavoko, hold on. Maybe the second I will give that information. So hold on, hold your horses. Honorable Mutuse.
Mr. Speaker, I think there will be time for debate, and the Honorable Member will be able to voice any concerns that he may have at the time of debate. Procedurally now is my time to move the motion. The motion gets seconded. You open debate. In case there are any issues, they will be raised during debate, and we will be able to respond adequately.
Yeah,
But,
I want to confirm that during the debate, you can actually respond to the issues as you reply.
As I will reply, we will respond to those issues. Yeah. With tremendous respect, you know, the member for Mavoko has been here for several years. So we now call upon the Chief Whip, the Honorable Osoro, to second.
Honorable Osoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I rise to second, and also I may wish also to respond to my friend, the Honorable Member for Mavoko, that what is before us, Honorable Speaker, is the report. Is the report on the interview, or rather the hearing that was done by the committee for the nominee, a specific nominee. As you may be aware, the committee on JLAC does not conduct an interview for all the nominees. So there was a nominee before us, and that is the nominee that we are debating about on his report and his suitability to hold the specific office. To the question on the others that showed interest, which is in public domain, there are other agencies that were mandated for that. That is why we have the board of the EACC chaired by Bishop Oginde, and they then submitted a nominee for vetting. And that is the report you are debating, Honorable Speaker, today. Honorable Speaker, I want to second this with tremendous respect and support entirely the report that the JLAC committee committed to and really did diligently. Honorable Speaker, the most important thing that should be stated is that there should be an element of motivation for junior officers whenever they work in public spaces. That if you are a junior officer or a junior nurse or a junior doctor in a hospital, your motivation is that someday you will rise through the ranks and become a CEO of a hospital. If there is no other reason that this House should support this candidate, Honorable Speaker, that should be the only reason. Besides everything, if nobody finds any other reason, this should be the reason. Why, Honorable Speaker? This particular officer, Honorable Speaker, started as a police officer. A career police officer, who has risen through the ranks. As a police officer, you all know the responsibilities of a police officer is to investigate, to do arrests, to take suspects to court. And this particular nominee, Honorable Speaker, started as a junior police officer, joined the service in 1999, rose through the ranks up to 2005. He became a regional manager of, when he moved now to the EACC, became a regional manager, then became in charge of the Coast region. He became a senior officer, the rapid response of the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission from 2005 and 2012. I mean, this is a guy that has got institutional memory of the EACC, Honorable Speaker, that with the tip of his fingers, he can be able to highlight all the cases in the EACC. Because even as we speak, Honorable Speaker, the nominee acts as the director of investigations of the EACC. He's been serving in that capacity, Honorable Speaker, from 2012 to 2022. Honestly, what other motivation would you give a junior officer in the EACC other than promoting or rising or having this very senior officer rise through, become the CEO of that particular place, serve in his capacity as CEO, reorganize the structure because he knows the history, he has the facts in the office, and that is, Honorable Speaker, there wouldn't have been a better candidate to serve in this capacity, Honorable Speaker. And that is why when we looked at this report, Honorable Speaker, when we looked at his CV, we looked at his history, we looked at the way he handles questions and the way he answers, then we looked at his PR, the way he talks to people, because an investigator is not just a commander. He's a person that really needs to be a person who's got some very good public relations as they do investigation. We couldn't find any reason to deny this candidate an opportunity to serve the country. Honorable Speaker, of importance is the fact that this particular nominee, Honorable Speaker, has never been mentioned on any matter to do with integrity. Serving under EACC, Honorable Speaker, comes with temptations. We all know that we've got, people around who are engaged in corruption. And police officers and investigative agencies have in the past been accused of taking bribes, have in the past been accused of taking money so that they can be able to protect criminals and such like that. This is an officer, Honorable Speaker, that has served in his capacity as as director of investigation from 2012 to 2022, without a single complaint of any person raising the question of integrity about his character. Serving as a director of investigation, Honorable Speaker, comes with huge and immense responsibilities, where every file of investigation falls on your table. Every serious file of crimes, again, financial crimes and crimes, the economic crimes, Honorable Speaker, falls on your table. But it is quite applaudable, Honorable Speaker, that in his capacity, in this time of service of 10 years, not a single person has come or raised the question of his integrity. Even as we were doing this, when the memoranda was raised, when we invited members, Honorable Speaker, to raise the memoranda, to tell the people, of course, to bring forth their challenges or the complaints they may be having against the nominee, Honorable Speaker, not a single one brought the issue of integrity, not a single one brought the issue of bribery, not a single one complained and said, he was harassed when he was serving in this capacity. Honestly, Honorable Speaker, we want to urge this House that if there is a nominee or if there is a place that will serve, will be able to help this country, is by pushing a person that knows. He's actually a person who talks less, speaks less, but acts more. We have had a history under EACC where we have had CEOs that talk too much, but they do little. You will see a lot in the EACC. We only want to urge him, with going by the presidential address that was given, His Excellency the President read here, in the fight against corruption. Now that your body is independent, EACC is independent, this House commits to even allocate you more funds. Please arrest, have several corrupt people arrested. Corrupt governors, corrupt CEOs, corrupt ministers, any person that is engaged in anything, corruption. Have them arrested, have them tried. I see, okay, let me not say that because there could be some interest and I don't want to say much. Somebody raised an issue and said, we are telling him to arrest so-and-so. And then they said, if he hasn't arrested so-and-so and he keeps working with him, I don't want to say who, but I'm sure he'll arrest all the corrupt officers and all those people that are engaged in matters of corruption. So with those many, many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I request and urge this House to support this report, to approve this nominee. We have a lot of pending businesses about investigation. We have a lot of pending businesses on corruption that are already before the tables of EACC. Please approve this great gentleman of this country Let him serve. Go ye serve diligently. I beg to second, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I therefore propose a question that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as the Secretary/Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, laid on the order, Honorable Anjala, order, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 3rd December 2024, and pursuant to Article 250(12) of the Constitution and Section 16(1) of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Act, Cap 7H, as read together with Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves Mr. Abdi Ahmed Mohamud, MBS, for the appointment as the Secretary/Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Honorable Dr. Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the committee for the vetting process and their report. I've listened to the mover and the second, Honorable Speaker, and I think they have already prosecuted their case well, more so the seconder. You know, the chief whip, the way he has presented this case, you would imagine that he knows this gentleman for many, many years. But I do agree that it is important for the country to see those people who have grown within the system being promoted. It gives them a lot of morale to work hard. It gives them hope because they know that one day you can be the CEO of the institution if you have just grown in the ranks, Honorable Speaker. And what is very interesting about this particular officer is that he has been in the investigative department for many, many years. So I know he knows what is supposed to be done. But Honorable Speaker, I want to share some statistics so that even as we approve this particular officer, because personally I have no problem with him taking over the position, but I think we need to put some statistics out there so that he knows what will be facing him in the very near future. Because I think, Honorable Speaker, the best way to test whether an institution is working is what Kenyans say about it. Honorable Speaker, every year, through Transparent International, we do conduct what we call Corruption Perception Index. Every year it comes out. And honorable members, it's important for you to note the following. The 2023 CPI, Corruption Perception Index for Kenya, where the range was from 0 to 100, where 0 means highly corrupt, and 100 stands for very clean. Kenya scored that one out of that range, way below the half mark, which means we are in the class of highly corrupt. In terms of countries, honorable members, Kenya was ranked 126 out of 180 countries. And that's what it says about this institution. We know, honorable members, corruption is a serious, serious problem to many countries. Why is it serious? It is serious because it diverts the resources, public resources, to the pockets of very few. And in that case, you are not able to grow the economy. You are not able to address issues of poverty. So, what it means, honorable members, is that this gentleman called Mr. Abdi Ahmed Mohamed, who is an insider and who knows a lot, he needs to be very much aware of these statistics. So as he takes over, the expectation of this House and the expectation of Kenyans would be able to see the CPI improving for this country. And the chief whip, I think it is important we note the baseline where he is starting. He is starting at the position that 1, it is starting at position 126. So that in 5 years, in 10 years, we'll be able to be able to measure its performance. And if we go that way, we'll be helping this country. So I really have no problem with this, him taking over the position, but I thought it is wise to share these statistics. But the last thing, Honorable Speaker, as I see it after supporting. Honorable Speaker, if you look at what has been happening in this country, the EACC and the DPP, the so-called Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, we have seen some exchange of letters which are not good for this country. And many years, we have been pushing that the EACC is given some prosecutorial powers so that they can investigate, arrest, and prosecute. But we know our constitution does not allow that. So that is a challenge which, to some extent, has to be addressed, Honorable Speaker, if we have to give teeth to this EACC. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the appointment of Abdi Ahmed Mohamed and wish him well as he proves these statistics. I submit.
Major Bashir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first and foremost, I want to thank the Committee of Justice and Legal for a good report that they have presented, well articulated. And I want to, at the forefront, support the approval of Mr. Abdi Ahmed Mahmoud as EACC CEO. Honorable Speaker, this candidate or this individual has worked in EACC for a number of years. Actually, is an individual that has grown through the ranks to become the deputy CEO of the same institution. That gives hope to many Kenyans that you can rise from the bottom all the way up and be recognized and be appointed. Mr. Abdi has previously served as an investigator several years back. Over the years, he has never had integrity issues as he performs his duties. Mr. Abdi is a soft-spoken, but I know he can bite. I want to echo what the other Honorable have said on the issue of ACC's powers to prosecute. Remember, some times back, there were issues between the DPP and EACC. EACC work is to provide the file sent to DPP. That means they don't have prosecutorial powers. But remember, there are a number of properties that were recovered over the years by EACC to the tune of billions. And that docket was under Mr. Abdi Ahmed Mahmoud. I feel and I know that Mr. Ahmed will be able to perform his duties as CEO. He's an insider. He knows what goes inside the EACC. He has done it before, and I am 100% sure that he's able to do his work very well. So I want to urge this House, with all due respect, to ensure that let us support individuals who have risen through the ranks and worked in institutions to be promoted and appointed in those positions. Previously in this same House, we have made noise about people being brought outside from other institutions to head certain institutions which they have no history, no knowledge about it. But Mr. Abdi has vast knowledge of EACC, and he has done it his work well before being appointed as deputy CEO. Before his appointment or this nomination, he was the deputy CEO, just a heartbeat away from a CEO's position. That tells you he has performed very well and he can still perform as CEO. So with those few remarks, because I'm sure many members want to contribute, I want to urge this House to support the nomination of Mr. Abdi Ahmed Mahmoud as our next CEO, and I want to urge him also to ensure that he does his work well and ensure that with a soft-spoken, he must bite and fight corruption in this country. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Keses? If not in the House, we'll have the member for Buri.
I thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support the report of the committee. Madam Speaker, members of this assembly, the CEO of EACC will fight corruption being perpetuated by Kenyans of all origin. Madam Speaker, let us not try to look at Mr. Abdi as a Kenyan from a certain region. Madam Speaker, the mistake that we are going to do is to start now profiling some areas on some people. Let's look at Abdi as a Kenyan who deserves to serve this country. I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt that Mr. Abdi has distinguished himself academically. And I really want to thank him because as a police officer who has served as a constable, a cadet all the way to senior superintendent, he possesses masters in law. He has attended various leadership programs in the world by FBI, Israel, just to name a few. This is one character that has brought out an image of what a real CEO in an institution like East Africa EACC. Madam Speaker, I stand because we are all fighting corruption. I am convinced beyond reasonable doubt that Mr. Abdi has the experience. He has grown within ASCC as an organization. He understands the operations, Madam Speaker. I haven't come across any objection when the process was going on to say that he is not qualified, that to say that he has no experience, to say that he has indicated that he is not going to succeed. I join the other members. Please, let's look at this case very objectively. I saw Abdi himself presenting and representing, defending the position of EACC. And I think from an institutional point of view, that is a person that we need to trust. Madam Speaker, I join to say this. Corruption has really messed up this country. Mr. Abdi knows the loopholes. I have looked at the document and I've seen that they asked him so many serious questions, particularly on areas that he has identified as the key loopholes for corruption in this country. Madam Speaker, I have noticed that he has come up with a very serious strategies on how to fight corruption. So, Madam Speaker, I'm asking these members, please, let's facilitate, fast track, and approve because there's a lot of work that need to be done at the EACC. Secondly, Madam Speaker, there has always been conflict between the DPP and EACC. I believe, from what I've read from this report, that he is going to work out a structure, a relationship that is going to frustrate, that is not going to be conflicting every time. We saw some times back where the DCI and DPP, they were in conflict. We don't want people conflicting. What EACC is an independent organization. We trust in our EACC. We trust that they will fight corruption. There's somebody who was shouting and saying that we are giving this position to people from one region. I totally disagree with that statement. Although it was not on record, somebody was shouting. So we are not going that direction. We want to give this Kenya the best people, and we believe Abdi has the ability to do that. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Honorable Umi, nominated Harun, nominated member.
Thank you, Speaker, for the chance. I just want to thank the committee for the great work they've done in considering this particular candidate for the position of CEO EACC. And